Disability can help you build your case, file an appeal, and represent you at no upfront cost to you. Don't wait another minute to see if you may qualify for your Social Security disability benefits. Call Pinnacle Disability Group at 800-593-7491 for your free case evaluation. That's 800-593-7491. 800-593-7491. Call now.
Welcome to Picks and Parlays here on the Sports Byline Broadcast Network and streaming live on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. Today is Thursday, December the 5th, 2019. I'm your host, Nick Geber, and while the rest of the world celebrates with raucous and debauched celebrations World Soil Day, I'll be taking a more somber tone today as I celebrate King Bhumibol Adulyadej Memorial birthday today. If you're from Thailand, hope you take it well. Big sports day today, lots to get to. Big lineup of cappers as always. We're going to have Craig El Huapo Trapp. We're going to talk Monday Night Football, some NBA, Lakers at Blazers. Let's do some college basketball, Duke at Virginia Tech. And then the man, the myth, the legend, Chip Chirimbes will join us here for some NFL, 49ers at Saints, Chiefs at Pats, and the Seahawks at the Rams. And finally, Craig Trapp and Tony L. Tigre Tellez going to give you the best 14 minutes as we do our college football rapid fire. In 14 minutes, we'll cover every college football championship game. This could be the most profitable 14 minutes of your sports betting year, so be sure to stay tuned for that. All right, I mentioned we're streaming live on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. If you'd like to comment on the show, you can do that. Just fill in the comment box and we'll see it here in our system, and producer Andrew will put it up on the screen. And if it's good, I'll answer it. If it's rude, I'll answer it. If it's too rude, I'll ignore it. That's how it works. Anyway, search us online, Picks and Parlays, or hashtag Parlay Radio, and let's have a good old-fashioned chinwag about it all. We're with you Monday through Friday here on the Sports Byline Broadcast Network and YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter, 4 p.m. Eastern Time, 1 p.m. Pacific. And so we're going to give you a lot of free picks on this show. You can find even more free picks on our website, picksandparlays.net, as well as our expert picks for when you're ready to kick it up a notch. All 35 of our cappers have their expert analysis there for you. Fill up your basket right now. Get 15% off. Use promo code HOLIDAY. That's promo code HOLIDAY for 15% off. There are free picks, of course, loads of them, but these are the expert picks. Don't be a sports bettor without having the best sporting intelligence. All right, I'm going to take a break. If you have a pen and paper, go grab one. Unless, of course, you're driving. Don't do that if you're driving. I'll be right back after this.
You're in charge of hiring, and Indeed has solutions, like online skills tests, which let a candidate show that they're the right hire. Indeed will also give you the sticky frog, which will suddenly leap and stick to the face of the perfect hire. Okay, there's no sticky frog. But skills tests, that's a for sure.
See why independent research by Silk Road shows Indeed delivers 3 times more hires than any other job site. Post your next job at Indeed.com/hire and try skills tests for free. Terms and conditions apply.
Hey, travelers, do you want to save money on your next flight? Then pick up the phone and call. That's right, call, because the best prices are not online. They're with SmartFares. See, SmartFares has special deals with the airlines. When they have unsold seats, they use SmartFares to fill them. So you get airline tickets at ridiculously low prices. Our prices are too low to publish online. With the extra money you'll save, you can book another trip, or treat yourself to dinner or shopping. So stop searching all of those travel sites to find the lowest price on your next flight. Let one of our SmartFares expert travel agents find ridiculously low prices for you. Call SmartFares today and get the best price on your next flight. Guaranteed. Also, save up to 50% off business and first-class tickets.
855-325-1780. 855-325-1780. That's 855-325-1780. It has been said that everyone has a book in them. But do you have the time or the ability to write your book? Maybe you picked up some skills or had a life experience that you want to pass on in the form of a book to help others. Maybe you want to leave an autobiography for your family. Or maybe you've built a successful business and you want to share your story. At Dorrance Publishing Company, we have professional writers who can help turn your book idea into a finished manuscript quickly and affordably. A Dorrance ghostwriter can provide as much or as little help as you need to complete your book. You'll work directly with your ghostwriter to finish your book faster than you ever could on your own. It's easy to become a published author. Call Dorrance now to learn more. 800-485-6003. 800-485-6003. 800-485-6003. Call right now. That number is 800-485-6003.
ShopLowe's.com cyber deals for gifts perfect for those on your list. Now you can save $80 on a DeWalt 2-tool 20-volt max brushless cordless combo kit featuring a drill, impact driver, 2 batteries, and charger, all for just $149. And get a 200-piece Cobalt Mechanics tool set for just $99. This set is a $500 value and includes tools perfect for everyday projects and more. If you're up in the air about what gift to give, remember, a Lowe's gift card is always a great choice. For these cyber deals and more, do it right for less. Start with Lowe's. Offers valid through 12/4 U.S. only.
Welcome back to the show, Picks and Parlays here on the Sports Byline Broadcast Network and streaming live on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. I'm your host, Nick Geber. Find me on Twitter at Nick Geber. Well, I promised you some guapo, so let's bring him on. Craig Trapp. Craig, welcome to the show.
Hey, glad to be back. Been a few days, but excited. Of course, Monday Night Football talk here and talk a little basketball action, which, of course, is my true passion.
Well, Craig, before we get to all of that, just tell me, what sort of personal introspections are you going to be contemplating today as you remember King Bhumibol Adulyadej?
Not sure that's going to affect my day one way or the other.
All right. Well, I tell you what will affect your day, Craig. The picks we're going to give out right now. Let's start with Monday Night Football, shall we? Because this is Giants at the Eagles. The Giants are 2-10. 4-8 against the spread. They're on an 8-game losing streak, which basically equates to this team stinks. They're coming off an interception-laden loss to the Packers. Daniel Jones apparently is unable to play. Break out the oxygen and Walker and give the start to Eli Manning, because that's what they're going to do here. They're losing by an average of nearly 13 points per game. Not a great team here. The Eagles, last week's lack of offense was the big worry in their 31-37 loss to Miami. But they lost as a 10.5-point favorite. And we've seen that happen, actually, about 3 times in the last couple of weeks, making me wonder about some of the consensus thinking out there. But expect them to fire up the score against the Giants because the Giants have an absolutely horrid D. Eagles are 8-point favorites, total 46.5. Should we believe it?
Well, it's hard to be in love with the Eagles. At least I would say if you put that last game against the Dolphins, which was a big letdown spot after, of course, they played the really good Seahawks and New England, and they actually played both of those teams tough. But, man, when you lose in the fashion they did to Miami, it's tough to have a whole lot of faith in this Eagles team. You know, they're just 2-4 against the spread at home this year, so they haven't been great at home. Carson Wentz is everybody thought, he was the superstar after, of course, the knee injury a few years back when he was having that great season. He's never returned to that form, but you got the Giants here, and you have they're only 3-3 against the spread on the road, and they have, like you said, Eli Manning coming back to the helm, and maybe that's a positive. I don't know. Eli Manning, in his career is exactly 500 for his career, and I don't think those are Hall of Fame numbers, but people are throwing that around. So maybe Eli takes that one game over 500 in his career with a win here.
Well, you know what? When everyone on the sideline grabs their bottles and it's full of energy drinks and sports drinks, Eli's grabbing the old Ensure, making sure he takes it along with his one a day. Right.
Yeah. It's a tough spot. At least they announced it early in the week. So it does sound like Eli got plenty of snaps this week. I think the Giants are the play
not his
here
bones, I hope.
Yeah, well, yeah. Getting near double digits. So I see this line at 9.5. I would wait until game time, hoping to get this at 10. But I think the Giants are the play here. I just think the Eagles' season is kind of went down the toilet, per to say, and I just don't see that changing, at least not enough to cover a double-digit spread here. Eagles have not been any better if you really look at it as far as bettors are concerned. They're the exact same against the spread record as the Giants. So they're both 4-8 against the spread. I don't think that's the type of team that you want to lay 9.5 points with. So let's take the New York Giants on Monday Night Football with ancient Eli Manning taking this first start in 7-8 weeks now.
Yep. All right, you have it there from El Guapo. Let's go to some showtime in Portland. Let's turn our attention to the NBA. Lakers at Blazers. The Lakers hot, 19-3. They're 13-9 against the spread. They rebounded from their loss on Sunday to Dallas with 2 wins in a row. They're the second best in the league in terms of field goal percentage. They're 10-1 away, 5-12 against the spread in the last 17 matches against the Blazers. The Blazers 9-13, 10-11-1 against the spread. They've been a streaky team so far this season. Most recently, it was a 127-111 win over the Kings. They're only 500 at home. Total has gone under in the last 7 of 10 against the Lakers. Lakers are 3-point favorites in Portland here. Total 222. 222. Hey, I like that. Craig, over, under? What do you like to take on this?
I like the Lakers. Obviously, you got to continue to ride the Lakers at this point of the season. They're the hottest team in the NBA. If you take away the first 2 or 3 games of the season, this Lakers team has been on a roll. I just think the Lakers, you at this point, you just ride them until they buck you. There's these trends out there. You just, you don't question. Let's play the Lakers here, minus the small number on the road. I think the Lakers continue to stay focused. And when LeBron's focused, and we've seen this in his career, he's very tough. Now, it's just the opposite. When his teams are not playing well, he loses focus. You'll see him set out a lot of games. This season, he's not been taking games off. That tells me he's focused and ready to go. Let's take the Lakers here, minus the number on the road.
Wow, Craig saying nice things about LeBron. I'm shocked. There must be a full moon or something, or maybe it is King Al-Duliadej Day that's doing it for you. I don't know. King old Boomy Bow. We love the man. All right, Duke at Virginia Tech. College basketball. The Blue Devils 8-1, 5-4 against the spread. Bounce back from a home loss against Stephen F. Austin, and I can tell you that's in Nacogdoches, Texas. And I can tell you there's a restaurant in Nacogdoches that sells 7 different types of meat. I would ask you to think about that, okay? It's a little scary. Okay, but they did win against Winthrop and Michigan State. I don't know so much about Winthrop, but Michigan State was a good win. They'll be without Cassius Stanley, who's injured. The total's gone over in the last 5 for the Blue Devils. Virginia Tech 6-2. 5-3 against the spread. They're on a 2-game losing streak after a perfect 6-0 start. Kind of stinking it up a bit, but still a good team. Jonathan Kabongo's out indefinitely. Total has gone over in 4 of the last 6 games. And I have to tell you, Craig, when I looked this one up, I didn't have a line on it. So maybe you can tell me what it is.
Yeah, Duke is favored by 5.5 in this one. The total hasn't came out quite yet. I'm sure it'll come out later tonight. But Duke, obviously maybe one of the more impressive wins, winning at Michigan State without Stanley, like you said.
Yep.
When you have your future star, NBA star, I'm sure he's going to be a top 2 or 3 pick, it sounds like. And you go on the road and beat a healthy Michigan State team. That was impressive. But let's don't forget, Virginia Tech went to Maui, and they beat the same Michigan State team on a neutral floor. And, of course, Virginia Tech, first-year coach Mike Young. If you watched the tournament last year and you saw Wofford, how good they were, this is the coach from Wofford last year, and he deserves to get his chance at the big time. He's got it. So far, so good. Obviously, after they lost that win, they didn't look as good against Dayton or against BYU, but that Dayton team's pretty daggone good. Remember, they almost won that Maui Classic. So I like this Virginia Tech team. I think they're getting Duke in a tough spot after you have that huge emotional road win, and now you have to go on the road again with a young team at Duke, and you're facing a Virginia Tech team that's at home. And we've seen this Virginia Tech team's been good against the best teams in the ACC at home, even though most of those wins, of course, were with, Buzz Williams when he was at the helm here for Virginia Tech. But I like Virginia Tech still here tonight. I think it's a very, very close game. So let's take the 5.5 points. I think Virginia Tech gets enough points to at least cover and maybe even pulls an outright upset in a tough back-to-back spot.
Good analysis there, Trapp, because for me personally, I like Virginia Tech for this game. I'll tell you why. They had a great 6-0 start. They've lost 2 on the bounce. This is at home. They're going to want to show that they are, the real deal. And, I think they've got a slightly wounded Duke side. I mean, look, they lost to Stephen F. Austin at home. They're without their best player, as you said. And I always wonder about young teams like that. And yeah, they're 8-1, but I mean, we have to look at who they played. I mean, Winthrop. Anyway,
it is Coach K. I will say this: you have
it
the
is
best,
Coach K, of course,
Hall of Fame coach. But this Mike Young, if you haven't watched, I'm telling you, if you watched Wofford last year, they were one of the more exciting teams to watch. He's going to bring that same exciting style. They shoot a lot of threes, so that's going to be the key here for Virginia Tech. They're going to have to knock down some early threes to stay in this game. But if they do so, I think they have the talent to stay with Duke here in the first matchup, of course, in the ACC, which is, of course, the toughest basketball conference in the land.
All right, well, there you have it. This should be a good fans game if you just want to watch it and pass on the betting, although listen to what Craig says. He knows what he's talking about. He's one of our expert cappers. He's also the big boss, but, that's a different matter. You can find Craig and all of his picks at picksandparlays.net, as you can every one of the cappers we're going to have on the show today. And right now we have a special for the holidays. It's promo code HOLIDAY, unsurprisingly enough. 15% off anything you want to put in your shopping cart, anything at all. 15% off at picksandparlays.net. So when you go to bet on sports, make sure you are armed and ready with the best sporting intelligence you can get. Promo code HOLIDAY. Coming up, a man who just won his college game of the year outright. That's right, chicken dinner himself, Chip Chirimbes, right after the break.
This is an urgent health notice for all residents suffering from back, neck, knee, and wrist pain. You may qualify for a pain-relieving brace at little or no cost to you, but the deadline is fast approaching. Simply call the Health Alert Hotline now.
You heard right. You may qualify for a pain-relieving back, neck, knee, or wrist brace. These items may even be covered by Medicare or your private insurance. The Health Alert Hotline is your brace company. These specialized braces have been tested for pain relief. Call us toll-free right now to determine your eligibility and to learn how to use your private insurance or Medicare to minimize your out-of-pocket cost. Don't wait. If the deadline passes, you may lose your opportunity to get a pain-relieving back, neck, knee, or wrist brace at little or no cost to you.
800-430-9571. 800-430-9571. 800-430-9571. That's 800-430-9571.
Attention business owners. Now is the perfect time to start saving money on your cable TV bill for your business. We can give you packages with up to 90 great channels and save your business a ton of cash. And if you call right now, you can learn how to get free equipment and free installation. Now you have choices. It's time to start saving money on your cable TV bill for your business. And call today and get 90 channels plus free equipment and free installation. Smart business owners like you all across the country are consolidating and saving money on their cable TV, internet, and phone service for the business. So now's the perfect time. This may be a limited time offer to the first 100 people that call right now. So please save money and call now.
800-470-7113. 800-470-7113. 800-470-7113. That's 800-470-7113.
Imagine this is your money and someone wants to take it from you. Who is it? The IRS. They want your money, and guess what? They can legally take it, all of it if they want. Remember, they sent you that letter that said, hey, you owe us a bunch of cash and we're going to take it from you. So what do? Fight back by letting our team of experts at the tax helpline work it out with the IRS so you can keep your money. And we're good at what we do. When you hire us, you get a team of guys on your side that know the IRS laws and will fight to save your money. So, if you owe the IRS a ton of cash and you want to keep it, call right now and learn for free how we can help you put it back in your pocket.
800-932-1749. 800-932-1749. 800-932-1749. That's 800-932-1749.
All right, you're back with us here. Our picks and parlays on the Sports Byline Broadcast Network and coming to you with live video on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. I'm your host, Nick Geber. Twitter me at Nick Geber, Nickgeber. Shouldn't be too much of a shock. Listen, we're going to talk some NFL. Who better to talk NFL with than our own resident handicapping expert, chicken dinner himself, Chip Chirimbes. Chip, good to have you with us.
It's great to be here.
Very good to have you. Let's get to it, shall we? Before we do, actually, Chip, now you've taken a little hiatus from the show. I know that National Transgender Day was a big celebration for you. Now, our viewers, listeners, and sports bettors may not know, Chip, that you have the honor. In fact, you were one of the very few people in the world that has both a bachelor's degree from NYU and a master's degree in human sexuality.
I do.
Chip, I have to say, I'm wondering if I should maybe put a little bit more space between us.
I don't think that's necessary, but I'll tell you, the international studies certainly opened my eyes.
I bet it did. What about some NFL, though? What about the 49ers at the Saints, the first place in the NFC? It's on the line here. The Niners 10-2, 7-4-1, coming off a tough 2017 loss to the Ravens. On the other hand, you know, everybody seems to lose to the Ravens. But they lost to a 49-yard last-second field goal. I mean, great play.
From one of the best kickers in
the
history
right,
of the
absolutely.
league.
Great stuff. They have the number one ranked defense. The offense is struggling on the road a little bit. They're scoring less than 21 points in 3 of the last 4 games for the Niners. The Saints, on the other hand, had a solid 26-18 win over the Falcons last Thursday. They'll come into this game really rested, however, because they didn't play over the weekend, right? So that was it. But they've been routinely holding opponents to under 20 points. Can they hold the Niners defense down? I've got the Saints. Actually, this surprised me. 3.5-point home favorites for the Saints.
It's strong.
And it's 44.5 total. How do you see this one?
Well, you know, the Saints they've surprised me. I'm surprised that they are in this position right now at 10-2 with the best record in the NFC, tied with the Niners. You had mentioned it off the top. You know, where they came from, I hadn't expected or anticipated they were going to be contending for this top spot. And they are. And 2.5-3-point favorite at home. It's because of their home record. They're going 28-9 against winning teams at home. And you win 28 out of 37 against good competition, you're playing good football. The total on this one is 44.5. And Nick, New Orleans, the Saints, after dropping their first 2, have covered, they won 8 in a row, and they've covered 8 of the last 10. The problem here, as a favorite at home, they've only covered 2 of the last 9, and yet they've played so well. They beat the Niners the last time they played them, 41-23. That was 2 years ago. And up until that, prior to that, the Niners had won 4 in a row. But of the last 8 meetings between these two, Nick, they've gone over 6-1-1 with 1 push. The road dog is 4-0. I think it's a really tough call. It may end up on 3, and the line may end up going off 3. I think the best way to go here, Nick, is to play this game to go over with Drew Brees at quarterback and Garoppolo coming on. Now, we know that San Francisco didn't score a whole lot of points against the Ravens, but who does? The conditions were terrible, too. Conditions were terrible, and they've got up against Seattle, and these are tough, hard-nosed teams. I think this game, perfect conditions, indoors, goes over the total.
Over the total. You know, the thing is that when you're playing a team that is sort of destined to be the champion, and of course we'll have to see, it has to play out, they have to get there, but when you're playing a team like the Ravens, I'm not sure what you can really derive out of a loss to the Ravens, even something as tight as that. I mean, you know, except that the Niners can hang with them.
That's it.
But the Ravens did what, you know, champion teams do. They found a way to win at the end, which is, I don't care what sport it is, that's what they do.
And I agree with you 100%. And the Niners are just coming of age. You know, they're just starting to, they were in the doldrums 2 years ago, and now they've come alive with Garoppolo. Garoppolo got hurt last year. So, that's a great matchup. I'm really interested in looking and seeing that game, and I'm glad it's early because then we'll be able to catch some other games later.
Got it. All right, let's do the next one, shall we?
Okay.
Why don't we do the Chiefs at New England? The Chiefs 8-4, 7-5 against the spread. They demolished the Raiders 40-9 last week. However, you've got to take the same thing we said about playing someone like the Ravens, playing someone like the Raiders, who aren't that great. It was a demolition. They're playing some. The thing about the Chiefs, Chip, is they're not making mistakes. Okay, they're not turning over the ball. They're not giving. In fact, I don't think they gave up a single penalty in that game. Okay,
that's tremendous.
And it's the last matchup between these two was the AFC Championship game last year, which produced 68 points. There's no way we're seeing that again, Chip, because the Patriots on offense, they've been struggling. Their defense is strong. They lost to the Texans last week was an absolute shocker for them. The under, though, has hit in 8 of their last 12 games this season. So I don't think we're going to see 68 points.
But we did post Houston as our Sunday night bailout winner, which brought our Sunday night record to 8-3. Looking forward to this contest. Again, New England small favorite, just about a field goal here. Kansas City, you have mentioned it, not making mistakes, particularly on the road. They've covered 10-4-1 on the road in the last 15 games, and they are 19-9 against the points after a point spread win. So this Kansas City team sort of likes to build momentum, get it together. After a win, they come back. The problem is here, playing in New England, they're only 1-5 on field turf. They're used to playing on natural grass, of course. But the dog is 4-1 in the series. But, this New England team at home, I mean, they're absolutely outrageous. Look at this. After a straight-up loss, they're 47-21, and at home they're 42-18.
Okay, so
those are huge numbers.
A couple of things on that. First of all, I think you have to account for the fact that you have a quarterback that's getting past his sell-by.
I was going to get there.
Number one.
I was going to get there.
Number two is what's fascinating to me about this matchup. Okay,
go ahead.
Is that when you look at the Chiefs, their specialty is mistake-free football. And then you look at the Patriots, and they are the number 1 team in the league for forcing turnovers. Right. So, I mean, if you look at it, if the Chiefs can buckle down and do what they do best, okay, and keep the Patriots and not turn the ball over, you have to think advantage Chiefs. Right?
We have to think that the odds makers consider these two teams even. They only have a 3-point favorite at home, right? And Tom Brady, I don't know if people are aware, since week 4 is the 30th ranked passer in the NFL, and that's Mitchell Trubisky's territory, right? I mean, he hasn't been all that efficient, but I think right here in this type of game, the Patriots have to open it up because we have with Patrick Mahomes on the other side, and we know the type of speed and breakaway talent the Chiefs have. I think this game, like the last time they played, maybe not as many points, but I think this game is destined to go over the total as well.
All right, over the total on this one, and the total is 48.5. And by the way, I like the Chiefs personally for the upset. I'm going to have a couple of upsets here.
Well,
but that's just me. But,
listen, 3 points is 3 points. They're telling you anybody can win with 3 points.
Right.
Right? I mean,
that's basically
it's a toss-up, right?
Right, exactly.
And it's a great team. Both these teams can move the ball and score.
All right, let's do our next one, shall we? Let's do the Seattle Seahawks, Chip, and I'm going to translate it for you. Yeah. Okay, the St. Louis Rams.
Well, I got Cleveland Rams, St. Louis Rams, and LA Rams written down. So one way or another, I'm going to hit it.
Well, I believe the Rams are, 7-5 right now? Is that right? And the Seahawks, 10-2. So the Seahawks, a 27-30 rally back win over the Vikings. That extended their winning streak to 5 games. A streaky team also. They're averaging 22 to about 30 points a game during the win streak. They're first place in the NFC West, so it's exciting for them. The Rams, though, they bounced back from... Oh, a nice comment here, by the way. Brett Adkins. Let me just read this. He says, ranks are just temporary. Pat's roster is altered in comparison to weeks 1 to 7. Brett Adkins.
That doesn't matter. The fact is, he ranks 30th in passing in the last, since week 4. Maybe, he finds someone other than Julian Edelman to throw the ball to. Right. But we've said how they struggle.
And Brett comments on YouTube, as does Porter Lewis, who says 9 is strong all day long. Let me just finish up with the Rams here. They got embarrassed by the Ravens, again, 45-6. But, same thing I'm going to say, right? It's the Ravens. So what can you get for that? They lost the 29-30 game against the Seahawks back in October. Seattle, only 3-point favorites here.
Well, see,
it's interesting, right?
The Rams are 8-4 against the points. They did win that game, getting 1.5 points. But here's the difference. We're talking about a game at Seattle, where Seattle was only 1.5 points favorite. Now, you think there'd be a 6-point difference in the spread from 3-3, and we should see the Rams somewhere around 5.5-point favorites here, but not. This game's at a pick. And what the odds maker is telling you is that these two teams have come back together, whereas the Rams at 7-5 have come down, and of course Seattle at 10-2. And I'll tell you, Nick, I can't get by this Seattle team. I mean, every time I play against them, this Russell Wilson just does it to me. I mean, I had Minnesota the other last week, and that's the way it's part of the game. No one wins every day. We talked about that. But Seattle as an underdog, which they're not going to be an underdog here. I mean, approaching.
They're road favorites.
They're road favorites now. And they were 1.5-point favorites before, and now they're 3-point favorites. I think that the Rams are having a lot of trouble moving the ball. They're having a lot of trouble with their offense, even though they put up big numbers against
The Cardinals.
The Cardinals,
But again, it's the Cardinals, right? I mean, what does that
and
tell
I
you?
I think under pressure that this Goff isn't quite the same quarterback.
Tell you what, put up big numbers against the Ravens, then we'll talk. Put
Yeah,
up
well,
big
no one's
numbers
gonna-
against
yeah,
the
yeah, yeah,
Cardinals.
yeah. Well,
I'm not sure that means squat.
Seattle
really.
10-2. They're showing you they can play
Yeah, they
football.
are, yeah.
I'm surprised they were actually a favorite here, and that makes me very, very leery of the game.
Because I think people think the Rams are just terrible, to be fair. I mean, you know.
They were in the Super Bowl last year.
well,
and
last
they-
year's
you know,
last year. This
you're
year's
right.
this
You're
year.
absolutely
I mean,
right. I think the game
last year's
stays under.
Super
though.
Bowl this year. Well, I mean, what are the Rams? What's their record? I forgot. It's,
7-5.
7-5.
Well, you know, Seattle plays that conservative game where they look to bust you out at the end in the second half, and like we saw last week, they did virtually nothing until they counted, then all of a sudden they come out. And the Rams, I don't know if they're efficient enough to be able to put up enough points. I think this game stays under the total. The number's very high. I think it's 47.5 last I checked.
Oh, it was 46.5, so it's actually widened.
Okay, so there you go.
All right, well, there you have it. Chip Chicken Dinner Chirimbes. Here's 3 NFL picks for you. If you want more NFL picks from the Chipper, go to picksandparlays.net. Right now, you can buy any of his picks for 15% off. Use promo code HOLIDAY. Don't be a numpty when you're going to bet.
And Nick,
use the best sporting intelligence you can get.
And Nick, Thursday nights we're 8-3 on the year in that standalone NFL game. Tonight we have a winner between the Dallas Cowboys and the Chicago Bears. Log on, follow the buy links, and you be an A-play winner too.
All right, you got it. We'll be right back after this with more. I believe we're going to do some college football rapid fire here. So stay tuned. It'll be the best 14 minutes of your betting week.
Want to fly somewhere? Looking for cheap flights or cheap tickets? Then call. That's right. Call the low-cost airline travel hotline now for prices so low we can't publish them anywhere. Low-cost airlines has all kinds of cheap travel deals. Fly domestically and save up to 75%. You can even fly internationally and save even more. Yes, fly anywhere in the world and save a lot of money on your plane tickets. We'll even save you money with cheap travel deals on hotels, rental cars, even complete travel packages. So don't book your tickets until you call us first for the absolute cheapest prices on U.S. and international airline tickets and hotels. Call right now for prices so low they can't be published. Travel experts are here 24/7 to help. 800-754-4531. 800-754-4531. 800-754-4531. That's 800-754-4531.
At 28, I had struggled with opiate and meth addiction for 12 years. I did and said things that the sober me never would have done. One day I realized I was not invincible. I was not exempt. And that's when a friend told me about elite rehab placement. They gave me the tools I needed to get sober, and all it took was the one phone call.
Elite Rehab can help you start to break your addiction problem and get sober in as little as 7 days. And we'll work with your insurance provider to help cover the costs. Plus, we have travel assistance programs to get you here by plane or train. Make this free call right now to learn more. 800-403-5912. 800-403-5912. 800-403-5912. That's 800-403-5912.
Money Now 100 is not a lender, broker, or agent of any lender or financial advisor. We do not make loans or credit decisions. You must be 18 years or older and a U.S. resident to qualify. This is not an offer or solicitation to lend. I went to MoneyNow100.com and got the $5,000 I needed deposited in my account the next business day. If you need money for any reason, help is here. Go to MoneyNow100.com and get the money you need. Need to pay off credit card debt? Go to MoneyNow100.com. Need your car repaired? Need home improvement money? Visit MoneyNow100.com. If you need fast cash for any reason, go to MoneyNow100.com. Good, bad, or no credit at all. Go to MoneyNow100.com. You could get up to $5,000 as soon as the next business day. Go to MoneyNow100.com on your phone, tablet, or computer. Type in the address bar MoneyNow100.com. That's MoneyNow100.com.
All right, welcome back to the show. Picks and parlays. here on the Sports Byline Broadcast Network and streaming live on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter. I'm your host, Nick Geber. By the way, we've had some great comments on social media. We'd love to continue to hear from you. Just fill out the comment section on the social media boxes on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter. And here's another one from Brett Atkins. Says the Seattle receivers have to catch. If Russell can trust them, they'll win the Super Bowl. And he's a Brady fan. We'd love to hear from you. Let's hear more. But look, if you want to bet college football, we got the championship games coming up. The next 14 minutes going to change your betting life. That's right. It's time for our college football championship rapid fire. Joining me, two men, neither of whom have either bachelor's or master's degrees in human sexuality, unlike my last guest. However, both are ready to talk college football. Craig El Huapo Trapp, Tony El Tigre Tellez. Gentlemen, let's kick it all off, shall we? Baylor, Oklahoma. This is the Big 12 championship. Baylor 11-1, 8-4 against the spread. They're only 8-1 in conference. Oklahoma 11-1, 5-7 against the spread. Their one loss was an unlikely one where they gave up 48 points to Kansas State. Let's start with Tellez.
All right, Nick, I'll kick it off here. This game will be played a neutral site in Arlington, Texas, where the Cowboys play here. Baylor here getting 9. I'm going to take the points, total 64.5. I'm going to stay away from the total here. But, you know, remember that at first meeting, the Baylor blew a 28-3 lead, losing 34-31. But you know what? I like the way the Bears responded after that. You know, once the dust was settled, if the Bears went out, they would get them again, and this is exactly what happened. I was really impressed with Baylor's win against Texas, a really good defensive performance, holding that Longhorn offense down to about 10 points. And then in last week, 55 they put up at Kansas. And one thing with Baylor is they do show balance on offense. They can run and they can throw the football. And, you know, I'm not a big fan of the Sooners' defense in fourth quarters. The backdoor can be open here. So I'm going to go ahead and take the points, Baylor plus the 9.
Baylor plus the 9. Okay, Mr. Trapp, what say you, sir?
Well, I like Baylor if I was going to take the side, but I actually like the total here. Like you guys said, of course, the first matchup total is what the total's listed here, so I think that's pretty convenient. But Oklahoma really didn't do a whole lot in the first half. I think this time they do a little more in the first half. That pushes this game over. I like the over 64. I just think Baylor have a little something, I think, saved up for this one. I think Baylor's offense will put up 35+. I think Oklahoma will do so as well and push this one well over the total. But if I had to play the side, I definitely would pay Baylor over the touchdown, of course.
All right, let's move along. Next game, let's take up some serpents. Let's do it. It is Louisiana Ragin' Cajuns against Appalachian State. Let's start with you. Trapp, you're up. Raise up them serpents.
Yeah, first matchup, I remember it was a weekday game, and I had the over in this matchup, and App State won 17-7, so it was a big loser. This time, I'm not going to be fooled messing with the total. I'm going straight for Appalachian State. Of course, I don't think they're as good as last year. I think last year they were a very, very good team, but they're plenty good enough to beat Louisiana for the second straight time this year. I think it's 24-16, 24-13 type game, as I think Appalachian State covers the spread on this one.
All right, Tellez, Tigre, let's hear you roar.
All right, this will be a home game for Appalachian State, and I'm with Craig here. I like Appalachian State minus the 6. The Mountaineers have won 7 straight against the Ragin' Cajuns, and all wins have come by double digits. So I'm really impressed with the Mountaineers team. Defensive form a lot better right now than Louisiana. Holding teams just 290 yards. Really tough to back Louisiana. The defense has not been there. And that's what happens with some of these mid-majors. They don't have a lot of depth, and you start to see the defense wear out. And I think Louisiana's defense has worn out past 3 games, allowing 465 yards, 248 on the ground, 6.1 yards per rush. Mountaineers have an accurate quarterback, so they can make some big plays downfield. I like App State here laying the points.
All right, let's go to the AAC Conference, shall we, where it is the Bearcats against the Tigers. How about that, Tony? Cincinnati 10-2, 7-5 against the spread. Memphis 11-1, 7-4-1 against the spread. Look, I mean, you just have to look back to last week's game where Memphis ended the Bearcats' 9-game winning streak with a 34-24 win. The total has gone over in 7 of 9 for the Tigers. This one, the total is 58.5. Memphis are favorites at 10.5-point favorites here. Let's have a look. Who do we start? Well, you know, I'll tell you what, the Bearcats are in it. Let's start with you, Trapp. Go.
Well, obviously hometown team here, but that doesn't mean I play them. In fact, Like last week I had I bet against them, but I think this week Cincinnati gets it done for the second straight week. Last week they covered the spread. It was obviously a little more than this. Cincinnati could have and did lose that game, and still we're going to end up in this game where Memphis had to win. I think Memphis left some points on the board, but I think Cincinnati did as well. I think Cincinnati does plenty here. I like the 9.5 points. I think Cincinnati's defense will show up this time. I don't think Cincinnati did everything they can do. They weren't all out to win that game. Obviously, they will be. If they win this game, they could be the representative from the at-large teams outside of the Power 5 conferences. So I think Cincinnati does so. I think it's a big upset here, but I'm going to take the points 9.5 just in case.
All right, Tellez.
All right, Nick, this one will be my top play from college football on Saturday from Championship Saturday. Pick it up right now at picksandparlays.net. My winner from Cincinnati and Memphis up right now at the site.
All right, once again, go to picksandparlays.net right now. If you want Tony's picks on this one, you can get them 15% off. Use promo code HOLIDAY. Do it now. Remember, this is college football rapid fire. Okay, let's go to the SEC championship game, shall we? The Bulldogs against versus LSU. A little bit of a tongue twister there. I'll get it. The Bulldogs 11-1, 7-5 against the spread. This is the third straight trip to the title game for them. Last year they lost to Alabama. They got owned by LSU 36-16 earlier in the season. This is the second best rushing defense in the nation. They give up only 68 yards per game. They need to win this to go to the college football playoffs. LSU, on the other hand, I don't know what to say about them. 12-0 and pretty much perfect in every respect. They opened as 3.5-point favorites, but that's moved now to 7.5. The over is 7-1 in the last 8 meetings between these two teams. I have a total here of 50 and then something unintelligible. I think it might be 54. I have LSU 7.5-point favorites. Let's start with you, Tellez.
All right, Nick, yeah, I'm going to take the 7.5 here with Georgia. This game will be played on a neutral field in a dome in Atlanta. Now, obviously LSU's 2 biggest games of the season, they did win by 5 at Alabama, but only by 3 at home to Auburn. The best defense that LSU faced were the Auburn Tigers, and they were held to a season low 23 points. So I think Georgia is right on par here with Auburn's defense. Keep the score low. LSU's defense over their past 3 games, they are giving up nearly 200 yards rushing, 5.2 yards a carry. And Georgia's defense, as you said, fantastic. 2 yards per carry over their past 3 games. And one thing about Jake Fromm, I know he gets a lot. People are critical of him, but if you look at him, he's an experienced quarterback. But 3 touchdown passes in that win to Auburn, 2 in that win to Florida, 7 touchdowns, no picks against the top 25. I think they generate just enough offense to cover this one. I'm going to take the 7.5 with Georgia.
Taking the 7.5 with Georgia. Trapp.
Well, as far as the side is concerned, this is my best play of the week. You can get it at picksandparlays.net.
Oh, you tease.
But I do think almost as strong. I like the over here. I like the over 54.5. This LSU offense has been putting up points. And if you take away last week when they were pretty good on defense, they've been giving up a lot of points too. So I like the over as a secondary play in this one. But my top play on the side, you can get it at picksandparlays.net right now.
All right, once again, use promo code HOLIDAY, 15% off Craig's pick. You can find it right there on the site. And while you're on the site, load it up with all of our expert picks because you'll get 15% off everything. Use promo code HOLIDAY. All right, let's go from the best with the SEC to, well, what definitely isn't the best, but we'll go to Hawaii, Boise State. This is a Mountain West championship game. Boise State 11-1, though, 6-0 straight up against the spread versus Hawaii, winning over 37.5 points a game. Their only loss was a close 28-25 loss on the road to BYU. They beat Hawaii, this is Boise State, by the way, by 22 points earlier in the season. And for Hawaii, well, they're coming into this game on a 4-0 straight-up run and 3-0 against the spread. Warriors are 0-7 straight up and 2-5 against the spread in the last 7 road games against Boise, which is why, I might add, Boise are huge favorites at -17, and the total is 64. Stinker of the game here? Let's start with you.
I don't think so.
Who are you going to?
Let's go with Craig.
I'll go first. I actually see this line at 14 in some spots, so I think this line is a little all over the place. But I like Hawaii here. I know the first matchup wasn't so great. I even see some 13.5s out there, so it tells me there's some strong action on the underdog Hawaii here. Well, the worry would be weather here. If it snows or anything like that, then I might stay off this game. But if I'm playing it right now, assuming that there's not going to be snow, I would take Hawaii plus the 14. Search that to make sure you get it at least 14.
All right, El Tigre, what say you?
Yeah, I'm with Craig. I'm going to take Hawaii plus the 14. I think the Warriors catch a break here. This game is going to be at 2 p.m. local time in Boise State. That's 4 p.m., so there'll be sunlight. If this game was at night, it's a lot colder, a lot chillier, and I think the 4 p.m. Eastern start, 2 p.m. local start is a break for Hawaii here. I did watch that late night game. They really played Army very well. They handled that physical run game from the Black Knights well to get that victory. And one thing to note here with the difference, Boise State has been shuffling quarterbacks. It's not going to be Bachmeier here. They're going here with their third string quarterback here, Jalen Henderson, the third quarterback they've used this year. And they did, as you said, they did lose at BYU. They only beat Wyoming by 3 at home in overtime. So I'm going to go ahead and take the points here with the Rainbow Warriors.
All right, guys, 3 minutes, 2 games. Let's go from Mountain West to the ACC championship game, Virginia-Clemson. And, look, where I see it, this is just a tune-up game for Clemson. They're 12-0, 9-3 against the spread. They haven't really been challenged, though, in 2 months. They are the defending champs, of course. But Virginia, 9-3, they haven't been great on the road. All 3 losses have been away from Charlottesville, where there are good people on all sides, I might say. And the 4-0 straight up, 3-1 against the spread in the last 4, although all have been at home. Maybe, we thought it was, 17 points for Boise. Well, this one, the Tigers, 28-point favorites for the Tigers, 55.5. Let's go with Tellez.
Yeah, this game will be played at a neutral site in Charlotte, North Carolina. We've seen underdogs cover in this game before. We've always seen big favorites here. And I'm going to go with the dog here, Virginia, plus 28. You know what? Yeah, as you said, Clemson may come in this game thinking, look at the point spread. They've been pounding teams, but I think Virginia got a little momentum off that win against Virginia Tech. That was a very good effort they did. Virginia Tech was a hot team when they took them on and put up 39 on them. And of course, the Cavaliers' defense has been well, but the turnaround here for Virginia has come from the play of Bryce Perkins. He's really stepped up his game here in the month of November, completing 67% of his passes, 7 touchdowns, 1 pick. Look, the Cavaliers can lose by 20, 21, and you win. So I'm going to go ahead and take the points here. I believe Virginia here covers in this one, gets just enough offense to cover this number.
Trapp, we just got a couple minutes. Let's make it quick. You go about
I'll be
30
short.
seconds.
I like same thing as Tony. Perkins has been dual threat quarterback. I think that keeps him in this game. I like Virginia plus the 28 here.
All right, guys, 15 seconds each. The last one, the big one, Ohio State, Wisconsin. Let's start with you, Trapp, because it's Ohio State.
Yeah, I'm gonna bet. I was all over Ohio State last week in my best bet of the year. I won easily. I like Wisconsin in a rematch. Of course, Wisconsin was embarrassed the first matchup. I'll take the 16.5 here with Wisconsin. I think they play much better this time out.
All right, El Tigre.
I'm butting heads. I'm going to lay the point to Ohio State. Fast track in a dome in Indianapolis. Ohio State will look even faster. They had success on the ground against Wisconsin in the first meeting.
All right, there you have it, folks. 14 minutes, your most profitable 14 minutes of the year for your sports betting needs, wants, loves, and desires. There it was, College Football Rapid Fire Championship Game Edition. We got loads more of that every Monday through Friday, 4 p.m. Pacific, 4 p.m. Pacific. I'll get it right. 1 p.m. Pacific, 4 p.m. Eastern, right here on Sports Byline Broadcast Network and YouTube, Twitter, Facebook. I'm going to take a break. We've given a lot of picks out. Don't worry. When I come back, I'll recap everything for you so you can be locked and loaded and ready to make the right bet.
Here's a great way to save money on your prescription medications. If you take Viagra or Cialis, we can give you a way to pay as little as $2 a pill. Compare that to prices as high as $60 per tablet. These pills work for men and women to improve their sexual performance. And now for the price of 2 or 3 pills, you can get nearly 100. There's no need to pay expensive prices for Viagra or Cialis. Call now with your prescription and pay as little as $2 a pill. We offer 24/7 service and always free delivery and confidential packaging. Change your life for the better and have fun. Call Pharmacy Shop 24/7 to get generic versions of Viagra or Cialis for as little as $2 a pill, plus free discreet shipping.
800-709-4409. 800-709-4409. 800-709-4409. That's 800-709-4409. We are the Debt Destroyer Network. Any debt you have, credit card, tax, student loan debt, call now for free information that helps you destroy your debt. It's great advice. Plus, when you make this free call now, we have Debt Destroyer experts ready to help. They can show you how to destroy your debt and get your life back on track. Debt problems don't have to be overwhelming. You can live stress-free and debt-free. Credit cards, medical bills, IRS tax problems, even student loan debt. Learn about free programs offered by the credit card companies, hospitals, and even the government that can help slash your debt. Call the Debt Destroyer now for free information. Call now. 877-360-0402. 877-360-0402. 877-360-0402. That's 877-360-0402.
Do you owe $10,000 or more on at least 2 federal student loans? Then you may qualify for new programs offered by the Department of Education. These programs can reduce your interest, lower your payments, and possibly qualify you for loan forgiveness. If you have $10,000 or more and at least 2 federal student loans and currently not in school, you may qualify for one of these programs. Call now to check your eligibility. Student loan advisors are standing by to help you determine if you qualify for these new programs. They can help you reduce your interest, lower your payment, and even forgive a portion of your student loan debt. Take control of your financial future. Make this free 5-minute free call now to Nationwide Student Loans and learn how you can reduce your student loan debt.
800-439-7851. 800-439-7851. 800-439-7851. 800-439-7851.
All right, thanks for staying with us here at Picks and Parlays on the Sports Byline Broadcast Network, streaming live on YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook. Just a reminder, Monday through Friday, 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. on the left coast. God, I am really having trouble with that today. We're with you. That's every Monday through Friday. I'm your host, Nick Geber. You can find me on Twitter at Nick Geber. We have had a massive show today. Everything from NBA to college basketball. We didn't do college basketball. Yes, we did. NBA, college basketball, college football rapid fire, NFL. We did everything for you. And in case you missed any of our free picks, here they are. We started the show with Craig, El Guapo Trapp, little NBA. Clippers at Bucks. Take the Clippers plus 4.5. Duke at Virginia Tech. Told you we did a college basketball. Take Virginia Tech plus 5.5. And the Monday Night Football pick, Giants at Eagles. He said take the Giants plus 9.5. Chip Chicken Dinner Chirimbes' NFL picks. 49ers at Saints. Take the over 44.5. Chiefs at Pats. Take the over 48.5. And the Seahawks at the Rams. Take the under 47.5. And then finally, we had our College Football Rapid Fire Championship Edition. And here you go. Craig, Cincinnati at Memphis. Take Cincy plus 9.5. Hawaii at Boise State. Take Hawaii plus 14. Ohio State at Wisconsin. Take Wisconsin plus 16.5. And LSU versus Georgia. That was his game of the week best bet. Be sure to go to picksandparlays.net and pick up his best bet. 15% off. Promo code HOLIDAY. All right, Tony T's, his rapid fire picks. Baylor, Oklahoma. Take Baylor plus 9. Louisiana versus App State. Take App State minus 6. Virginia, Clemson. Take Virginia plus 28. Those were our college football rapid fire picks. Those were all of our free picks that we gave out today. If you want more free picks, we've got an absolute ton of them. A plethora of picks for you at our site, picksandparlays.net. And when you're ready to kick it up a notch and get our real expert intelligence, our expert picks are ready for you. 15% off right now. Everything in the shopping basket. Promo code HOLIDAY. All right, that's going to wrap the show. I'll be back tomorrow, 4 p.m. Eastern Time, 1 p.m. Pacific, with more picks from Picks and Parlays. Until then, bet, win, repeat.